two scenes in Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire that stick out, and they are side by side. The first one is a defense against a dark arts lesson with Mad-Eye Moody, or, well, Barty Crouch Jr. The second scene takes place in a stairwell, where Mad-Eye approaches Neville. In this video, I will discuss why I love these two scenes, and provide theories about what they symbolise. Special attention will be given to Neville Longbottom. Before I begin this video, I will outline how I discuss fiction. I take a highly speculative approach, and what I say may seem improbable or even far-fetched. I am not aiming to recklessly insert symbolism into Harry Potter or to even simplify it, but to appreciate how fiction can have a higher theological, historical, artistic and philosophical meaning. Let's start. The first scene is centered around the three unforgivable curses. They are, of course, Imperio, Cruciatus and Avada Kedavra. Both Imperio and Cruciatus have Latin word origins, whilst Avada Kedavra has Aramaic. This is important as it helps the killing curse stand out in terms of linguistics. This indicates to the viewer to pay special attention to when Avada Kedavra is used. Although the other two unforgivable curses are used and are meaningful in their own right, Avada Kedavra is special, and that is because of the themes J.K. Rowling used in her series, mainly death. Death is a huge theme in Harry Potter. We can think of Voldemort's quest for immortality, the use of the Resurrection and the Philosopher's Stone, and the many characters who die. Harry Potter himself is known as the boy who lived, aka the boy that survived death. Because of that, of course Avada Kedavra is given more dramatic weight, even though you could argue that mind control or torture is worse than murder. Overall, this is an effective foreshadowing of the importance of the killing curse. In the first scene we are discussing, Mad-Eye's method of teaching is very interactional. He does not just sprout information in a pointless way, he provokes his students into thinking and acting. Whilst he comes across as brash, which he is, it makes for a gripping scene. He asks his students to name the curses, and Ron Weasley provides the first one, the Imperio curse, and thus, Mad-Eye takes out a spider. What follows is a comedic sequence of the spider flying around the class. However, it ends on a dramatic and serious note of the spider dying. I love this, because it represents how magic can go from humorous to quite dark. Although you could use the Imperio curse to do quite funny things, you could also use it to hurt others. Overall, I think that is a good statement for the Harry Potter series as a whole. It starts off being whimsical and, dare I say, magical, but progresses in a darker direction. The second curse is said by Neville Longbottom, the Cruciatus curse, which causes torture and great pain. In this scene, Neville watches a spider get tortured, and although the viewer doesn't know it at the time, his parents were tortured severely by Bellatrix Lestrange. This makes for a painful experience for Neville, as I'm sure he is thinking about what happened to his parents. Hermione Granger objects to Neville's treatment and shakes her head when asked what the next unforgivable curse is. This is a good character moment for Hermione, who is often called a know-it-all and often puts up her hand to answer the teacher's questions. However, she wants no part in this, which makes me think that she knew the unforgivable curses and the damage they caused the wizarding community. The scene finishes with Mad-Eye using the killing curse on the spider, and the camera shows Harry's shocked expression. This foreshadows that Avada Kedavra will play a huge role in Harry's arc, and has a personal relationship with the curse, as Mad-Eye Moody says. For the second scene, I will only discuss a couple of shots. To shortly recap this scene, Mad-Eye Moody asks to talk to Neville, and the camera shows stained glass of a sad-looking man in a Hogwarts window, while it rains, and it is such rich in symbolism. It is one of my favourite shots in the whole Harry Potter series. I do not know who the man in the glass is, and Google, well, wields no results. So I have a theory that I'm excited to share, and I hope you like it too. But before I share it, I'll talk about stained glass. I'm sure that most of the people watching this video associate stained glass with cathedrals and churches. and that makes sense, although it certainly isn't the only historical or contemporary use of stained glass. I also acknowledge that Hogwarts is not a Christian school, although it was built and did grow during a very Christian Europe, and because of that, you can argue that the stained glass was inspired by the Romanesque and Gothic architecture of the time. Medieval and modern churches use stained glass as an art form, not just because of its beauty, but because stained glass uses natural light to exemplify its aesthetic qualities. So when you go into one of the Notre Dames or the Sainte-Chapelle in France, light will soak through the glass, and it is representative of the light of God. That's why I think stained glass is so beautiful, because it's as if the artist is painting on life itself. Obviously, in this scene, it is raining outside, and that disturbs the light coming in. Instead, the raindrops appear like tears on the sad man's face. The man also looks like Neville. Because of that shot, it's like we are looking into the soul of Neville and the sadness that haunts him. This is also because stained glass has reflective capabilities, and sometimes looking into it is like looking into a mirror of your own reflection. However, the stained glass man is not Neville. I think the man in the stained glass is St. Mungo. Let me explain this theory. For one, we know St. Mungo's hospital, where Neville's parents are. I reread 2 chapters from the Order of the Phoenix yesterday, and honestly, when Neville appears, it is painful because he's obviously hurting and keeps it to himself. When I think of St. Mungo's hospital, I don't think of a whimsical, magical place like Hogsmeade. It's actually a rather sad and melancholic place. The second reason why I think the stained glass man is St. Mungo is because St. Mungo has ties to Scotland, specifically Glasgow. We all know Hogwarts is somewhere in the Scottish Highlands, and although Hogwarts is not religious, I can see them showing respect to a Scottish saint. Third is the symbolic relationship St. Mungo has with Neville. I've already discussed the hospital, but St. Mungo himself is rather fascinating. For one, many chronologies of his life say that St. Mungo's parents did not survive, and some actually feature the father fighting in a war. This is reminiscent of Frank and Alice Longbottom's life, 2 participants in the First Wizarding War. But the last one is by far my favourite. St. Mungo is a patron saint of bullied children. Neville is of course a victim of bullying. Now, if there is to be one saint to look after Neville, it would be St. Mungo. Perhaps Neville knows about St. Mungo and saw similarities in the stained glass, and would look at it from time to time, especially after being bullied, so he would feel looked after or less alone. I love these scenes because of what they represent to Neville and to other characters. If you are a storyteller, know that you can convey so much depth into a character in just a few moments. Please subscribe if you like these kind of videos, as I am trying to grow my channel. Thank you, and see you next week.